Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Creative Podcast. We're your hosts, Keaton,
Chen.
And Ben.
and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about Minecraft. Minecraft is a sandbox-based game created by the Swedish game studio Mojang. Since its release in 2011, the game has sold over 238 million copies worldwide, as well as boasting 2 spin-off titles. So sit back, relax, grab your bowl of Creeper Crunch cereal, and let's get into today's episode. Our first song on the list is Subwoofer Lullaby. We're going to rate the songs by 3 different standards. The casual listener, the song breakdown, and the nostalgia factor. Ben will be in charge of nostalgia. Chen will be in charge of doing the casual listener, and I'll do the more in-depth music breakdown. So, we'll start with you, Chen, on this one.
Alright, well, just listen to it. Like, if I was just someone casual, I mean, I've played Minecraft for a while, but if I was someone casual, just listening to it, not knowing what Minecraft was, I would say it's a pretty good song. It really gives you that vibe that it's like a chilling vibe, but it's also like,
Yeah, it kind of matches the name. Like,
yeah,
it's
it does.
a lullaby, but contrary to how lullabies would normally sound, like, it's still a very soothing song, but it still has that very like obviously the subwoofer part of the lullaby.
It's a very beautiful, flowy feel.
Like say you're taking a walk in the woods or something, and you're just like, you want to listen to something. That is something you can listen to because it's just so calming. It gives you a relaxing vibe.
That might be a repeating factor of most of these songs that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah. Honestly, a lot of Minecraft songs have almost a depressing vibe.
Well, it's because they're just soothing ambient music.
Yeah. But it's just like a nice, beautiful, soft, kind of almost like a good bedtime music. If I mean, it's called a lullaby after all.
It would.
But if you were to just put it on quietly in your room as you're drifting off to sleep, I could see that being so nice.
Like, especially if you're like really tired and you just want to listen to something calming, that's something you can choose.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful track.
Yeah. I guess we'll go into the nostalgia factor next. So, Ben?
Well, for me, I am by far the most veteran Minecraft player out of the group here.
Yeah.
I've played Minecraft at least for 10 years. I'm about 17 years old. I used to play it all the time with my brothers, my 2 older brothers, and we would just play and mess around. And I vividly remember hearing many of these songs. And with most Minecraft songs, it just brings about a sense of nostalgia, of just simpler times before commitments or worries or anything like that, where just times were, like I said, much simpler, where you were just kids hanging out, just playing with your brothers or with other friends.
This
And
merits a whole episode on its own.
yeah, I could go so in depth about it.
And I agree wholeheartedly with you on
That's
that
kind
one.
of, again, like what I said about Chen's view on the music. That's going to be a repeating factor for me as well. A lot of the music is extremely nostalgic. I would say this one, I don't know, it just doesn't hit me as much in the feels as most of the other songs would. I feel like we're going to look at some of them in a minute here.
Okay, our next section of music rating is going to be our dissection, music theory style. So, I know a decent amount of music. I'm not, a scholar on music, but I know enough to pick apart a couple different things. So, first off, what makes this song kind of really calming is that I believe it's in a minor key. I should have looked this up prior to the episode. But I believe it's in a minor key, so that already gives it a somber feeling. And then it's really simple. It's just some steps of dun 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 with a nice ambient like pad or synth behind it. It just gives it a nice. It's not complicated. It's only a few instruments. If I were to pick it out, it's probably like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it really does live up to the lullaby in the name.
Yeah, because like lullabies aren't meant to be these complicated rock songs. They're meant to be a nice, soothing, quiet, and gentle, somber sound.
Yeah, they're supposed to allow your mind to basically just go blank, so then you can rest your mind and fall asleep.
Agreed. So, I mean, yeah, that is my dissection of Subwoofer Lullaby. Next, we're going to be rating Sweden. Let's start with the nostalgic side of the song.
Well, this is probably the most well-known song from Minecraft, other than the menu music, which is just called Minecraft. And I would say, oddly enough, although it is the most well-known and probably one of the most memorable for me, this one doesn't really invoke the same, like, it doesn't invoke as much of a sense of nostalgia and just like memories of times I played the game. I mean, for a while I was playing Minecraft, I had the music off because I would find it a little annoying at times, but then I began to truly appreciate the music, and I honestly never really heard this one that much, oddly enough.
I feel like I heard it all the time. Huh. Interesting. Anything else on that?
Don't think so, no.
Alright, we'll move on to dissection time. Okay, so for me, this is kind of like Subwoofer Lullaby. It's very simple. Like, it's not a whole lot going on here. Now, honestly, that goes for a lot of the OG Minecraft music by C418. But it's piano heavy.
I will say, sorry for butting in here,
You're fine.
but it starts out very simple, but then it gets not necessarily more energetic.
It adds
but
more layers.
It adds more layers. It gets a bit louder, and I would say, like, that helps with the feeling, though.
I agree. Because, like, it starts off with almost staccato type notes on the piano. Just, like, linger a little bit longer than staccato probably would. But, so you got the song playing and whatnot. And then as it progresses later in the song, you get, like, some strings fading in, a little bit of a synthy background as you go. And it builds without adding that much more energy. It just kind of makes it more full. I don't know. It makes it bigger without being more energetic. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I kind of get what you're saying.
So, yeah, that is my dissection of Sweden. Now, casual listener.
Alright, I know I'm a casual listener, but personally, this is one of my favorites out of all of them, because I've listened to it so much that I've grown to love it so much. Kind of what you said, Keaton. It's simple, but the way they make it sound, in your way, you can make it complex. All the instruments blending in so well later in the song, it gives me such a good vibe. Like, I love it so much. Like, I can sometimes get emotional with the song because it's just so perfect for me.
Our next song up on the list is Minecraft from Minecraft. We're going to start off with the song dissection. So, first off, the song is like, how do I explain it? It's like a very sad, slower tone, but this is one of the songs that I would have described as depressing when I was younger in Minecraft. It's just kind of like,
It's a very somber song.
yeah. So, but now I really appreciate it, and this I would say for me is the most nostalgic song. But, yeah, it's made up of a couple key instruments. You've got a nice like electric keyboard with the, like, I don't know how to describe it. It almost sounds like when I hear it, I think water droplets. Like the way
Interesting.
It's an interesting.
I don't think I ever thought about that.
I don't know. That's just what I envision in my head when I hear electric piano, the way it just kind of rings out. It's like thong, 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 or whatever. But so yeah, you've got that. You've got strings to really fill in the background around the middle of the song, and also Ben was able to pick this out for me. He's pretty sure there's a harp in there too.
The harp is the lead.
The harp with the
Like this, it's the melody.
Okay, yeah. Now your ear is better than mine on that one. I did not pick that out
Thank
on
you.
my own.
I think
But-
I think I slightly.
Well, because I'll quickly go into why I think it's a harp.
Okay.
Because you can hear. I don't know if C418 synthesized the music or if he actually had recordings of live
I
music.
think he synthesized it.
Well, either way, you can hear the plucking of the strings, and harps have a very specific sound to them. Whenever I'm not an expert on harps, of course, I've only ever actually seen one in person a couple times and heard one in person a couple times. But there's a specific sound whenever you pluck the strings that, like, it's very, like, you can easily pick out if there's a harp in a song, especially just the sound of a harp. It's a very unique sound.
Yeah. Well, I think that wraps up the I think that wraps up the dissection. So let's move into the nostalgia next.
Well, I would say this is actually, if we're going off of like which songs I would say are the most nostalgic, this is probably the second most nostalgic song for me. It's one of the ones I like a lot more, and I have vivid memories of this song playing while I'm like playing Minecraft on my Xbox with my cousins or playing with my brothers. Most of my memories for this song actually come from when I used to play this on our family Xbox that we actually still have, and I could go back and visit a lot of the worlds. And this song brings back probably some of the most memories for me.
Alrighty. Well, next, casual listener's opinion.
All right. So, as I said about Sweden, it's a simple yet complex type song. It really brings me back to the early days of Minecraft, because Minecraft was just so simple back then. No extra beds,
Made the dirt houses, the boats broke when you ran
yeah,
into
literally.
Kind of
land.
back whenever people were first still learning the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the community was super young.
Like
Yeah,
just
the thing has grown
just,
so
just
much.
enjoying the simple, the simplicity of Minecraft, because that's how it was. It was a simple game for people to enjoy.
And the music reflects that, because it's gotten more complex over time. Like, the music discs were a little bit more complex, but they were still kind of simple. But the music, as new producers have come on, which I love, Lena Raine, I think that's how you say it.
I think that's her name.
Lena Raine, something
Lena
like
Raine,
that.
Lena Raine. I love the music she's made, like Pigstep. Mwah, that's such a fun song.
It is a really good song.
But like as Minecraft has gotten more complicated, so has its music. And so like the OG songs kind of give that, like, it was simple with the music and the game was simple then too.
Yeah.
Even though the music still is
like
rap.
again, yeah, she is doing really good with the new Minecraft song. I like them, but
We'll cut this part out. I'm going, after you guys we're done talking about this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a very short pause, then I'm going to do a very smooth transition that I just thought of.
Okay.
Just keep it on this kind of topic,
all right.
where it's like back when Minecraft was simple.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. As you said, Keaton, she's really good. I like her new music, but wouldn't it just be nice to have C418 back? Because he went over the top with the Minecraft music and all this nostalgia.
Like, if they could come back, like, if he could come back even for just like one update and bring him on and make a couple new songs that are like the OG Minecraft style, where it's nice and simple, that would be really nice. And I'm sure the fans would appreciate that.
Yeah, Sweden is probably one of those songs. It is one of those songs in Minecraft that really bring you back to simpler times. But there's only one song that I can think of in my mind that brings truly the essence of how Minecraft used to be. And that's actually our next song that we're going to be looking at, Wet Hands, which is my personal favorite.
Let me just start off with, wow. Isn't this a masterpiece?
It really is.
Like I said, it's my favorite track from Minecraft. It is so beautiful.
When you listen to this, you can just close your eyes, and for most of the song, or no, not most of it, all of it, all your troubles go away.
It
as
really,
you're listening to it.
yeah, it kind of just, it really, it's like probably the most calming song in my opinion. Like, I know we talked about Subwoofer Lullaby and Sweden and how they're very calming and they're basically like lullabies, but this, I would say, and sorry for taking over your segment,
It's okay.
Chen, but I would say this is almost like a voice, like a small voice in the song telling you, yes, everything's going to be okay.
I like
what
the
a-
way you put that.
Great way to put it.
You know, on a
yes.
nostalgic feeling.
That's my segment, Chen. What are you doing?
I'll just add one thing.
Okay.
On a nostalgic type feeling, 100% nostalgic.
Agreed. From a musically, like, looking at it with a music critical eye, it's so simple. Like, it's really
It is
just
probably
piano.
the most simple song.
It's like just piano with some reverb, and it's so good.
But I feel like one of the key things though is it sounds like it's played on a slightly out of tune, like upright piano is what I envision, which it
Sounds
makes
like
it
my piano.
sound what?
Sounds like my piano.
Yeah, your piano is very out of tune. Do you want that to be in the
That's
thing?
fine.
Okay. We're just gonna restart that whole section. I completely lost my train of thought.
Like, start my section over.
Where I was saying.
Okay.
But one thing I feel like that captures the feeling even more is the fact that they don't play it, or C418 doesn't play it on like a very well-tuned, beautiful sounding like grand piano. It sounds like a piano you'd find at your grandma's house, just a kind of out of tune, kind of ragtime sounding almost.
It gives a homey feel.
Yeah,
Like,
it kind of goes
Yeah.
back to what I said. It sounds like a very calming, known voice, like your parent, like your mother or father, like just comforting you.
it's super familiar.
Yeah, and as you said, Ben, your piano can be out of tune,
And it
but
would
you
make
can
it
see
sound better.
Yeah, it would, because it's such an amazing song.
Yeah, and actually, we're gonna have a snippet of me playing this song at the very end of the episode, so stay tuned for that. But we're gonna cut that part out. I wanted to do a better transition back, but.
Okay.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add to that, Keaton?
I think, I mean, it's really simple. There's not much else I can talk about unless I want to be like, this note, this note, and this note was played.
Yeah, unless you get really in depth.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I mean, our lines kind of blurred on this last one, but
Yeah. Well, just going into the nostalgia part, I've already talked about this a bit. But this is by far my favorite song, not just because it's, in my mind, the most beautiful and soothing one in the Minecraft soundtrack, but just because this truly is the Minecraft song that brings me back to simpler times. Like, every time I hear the song, I just want to cry. Not fully out of sadness for times gone by, but just for the joy from those times that I remember. Like, can remember times where I was just messing around maybe in a world by myself building, or playing with cousins or playing with brothers or playing with friends that I no longer have. It just truly captures the essence of Minecraft, not just the vast worlds that you can play in and explore and build in, but the memories and community you can get from playing it with friends.
I think that's pretty well put.
It's very well put. And one last thing. I suggest listening to the Minecraft music.
Just
if you have anything like iTunes, Apple Music,
Spotify, even YouTube.
Listen to the music because it will give you a really happy feeling.
I mean, gamers need stress relief. Minecraft music is that answer.
Minecraft music, yeah, it's similar to, at least this is for me because this is a very nostalgic game, Super Mario Sunshine.
Yes.
The music for both of those games are just like one big video game antidepressant for me. Like, especially like Super Mario Sunshine is it's more just a very happy, upbeat soundtrack. But Minecraft is just soothing and calming and like just reassuring.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put that playlist on repeat when I get off this show. Well, as a wrap on our music segment, let's usher in the next segment, theories.
Is that what's next? The next one's updates.
Oh. I think that was a pretty good cap on our music segment. So now we're going to move into talking about the new update. Okay, in this segment, we're going to be talking about the new update called the Trails and Tales update. This is update 1.20 for Minecraft. And it's a big one. It has a lot of different, like, minute features, but they're all really cool. It ranges from armor trims, which can make your armor way cooler looking, archaeology, hanging signs, and bamboo is now, like, its own wood type.
Yeah, it has its own types of blocks, which I think is pretty cool.
And there's the cherry tree blossom biome.
Oh, that true, yeah, that too.
So this is a pretty full update, and then there's a lot of other small things that, like mob heads on music blocks. Now, if you use a button or a lever, you can make it use that mob sound. So
really?
You control people with creeper sounds.
That is actually really cool. Like, we used to have to do it with parrots. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest really quick. I have not played much of the new update, so I'm probably not gonna be able to give much input. But so you guys might want to pick up the slack that I'm laying down.
It'll be okay. I played a decent amount with a friend of mine, and I know you played a little bit, Chad.
I played a little bit of it, not too much, but I know a few things.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll start with you, Ben. And what was your favorite thing about the update that you were most excited for?
I would say my two favorite things, or at least most anticipated, were the archaeology, because it was a dream of mine for the longest time to become an archaeologist.
Yeah.
It's still a dream for me to at least just go to an archaeological dig, but I'm just fascinated by that. And then the armor trims, because I'm also a part of a world building server with a couple friends of mine. Mm-hmm. And that would allow us to add like different designs of armor for our different military individuals. And there's just a lot of potential I see in all of that. Plus, I mean, armor has been kind of lacking in looks for a while. You'd have to rely on texture packs, resource packs, those kinds of things, or even mods. Mm-hmm. But now with that, armor can be so much more unique. And it used to be, obviously, leather armor was the only one that could be dyed. But now you can pretty much dye any armor, and you could add, like, really cool designs and whatnot. What I would... do they have it for weapons as well? Like, you can add designs to weapons?
Unfortunately,
Sadly
no.
not.
I wish they did.
That's what they should do
You
next.
can do it on the turtle helmet even.
Interesting.
which is
I don't think I've
I
ever
did not know
actually
that.
gotten that.
I've
in
never
game.
gotten a turtle helmet. I've never finished Minecraft, so okay, it's really hard when you're by yourself. I just liked building huge cities in survival, not just creative. But yeah, so there's that. I had to get that out of the way. Okay, so yeah, you know one thing that's annoying about the armor trim?
What?
They introduced the netherite upgrade, and guess what that is? You have to have this item to upgrade your diamond to netherite.
Interesting.
So it's not just the smithing table with netherite.
I
and
mean,
diamond
I
armor.
guess that can make some sense in my mind because originally it seemed way too easy. You'd only need like what, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 8 netherite ingots to upgrade your entire set, including like sword, pickaxe, axe, shovel. Actually 9 because the hoe included.
True.
And then all your armor. So I feel like it felt really easy besides the part of actually trying to find the ancient debris.
I will say they were a little bit kind to us players. So the way you find these are they're in Bastion Remnants. They're guaranteed to be in the center where all the golden stuff is, and there's that chest with like really good loot, but sometimes you can find them in other chests around the Bastion. But you can copy them. So if you always have one on you, you can copy it. I forget what materials you need to use, but you can make copies of it. So once you have one, you're good. And that applies to all the armor trims.
Oh,
so
that's good,
once you
'cause
find it, you just save it and copy it.
Yeah, that's really good because I know some of them they're really difficult to find because you have to find them, not craft them.
Yeah, they're only able to be found in survival mode. I'm just gonna jump into what my favorite things from the update were. First off, there's nothing more I need to say about it, but I really liked the armor trim idea. It adds some nice variation. You can honestly, like in worlds like your world building server you're on, Ben, you can really separate legions, and like if everybody all has the same armor, like level of armor, diamond, netherite, or whatever, you can differentiate who is who in like a battle by having different armor trims or different colors.
There is something I would love if they could add to the armor trim.
Yeah.
Like making your own designs, not just
I would love that.
That would be like how banners work with the loom.
Yeah, duh.
Well,
that would be super cool.
Speaking of banners, I've not tested this out, but when I was looking through this list of different things in the update, they've added banners can now have shields on them in Bedrock, which I've been wanting for
You mean
so
as in like you could put
like
a banner
on a shield, which was not in Bedrock until
I was gonna say that's been in Java for a long time, dude.
I know, and I've been wanting it for so long. So unless this list deceives me, because I've not tested that yet, so don't quote me on it. But as long as it's right, I am so happy because I've been wanting to do that for so long, and I've never been able to get Java. Well, I mean, I've had the opportunity in the last year or so, but I just haven't. So yeah, that's a really cool feature. I'm trying to think over. I think one of my other favorite features from this update is the cherry tree blossom biome. It is the most beautiful biome yet. Its wood type is like a nice dark bark wood, but the inside is a light pink, and it's just beautiful. And the leaves are just like, they're different than all the others because they are pink leaves, and they drop like a particle effect. So there's like little flower.
And that just adds to the beauty of the forest because you got you got the particle effect, and just walking into this pink forest and knowing that you have all that wood that looks beautiful for building.
Yeah. Yeah, and on top of that, there's a new flower that places on the ground. So it's like it's basically the thickness of a wool carpet, and it's just flowers that you can place down on the ground.
Oh, interesting. So it's like
And they spawn in that biome, obviously.
Okay, interesting.
I'm gonna speed run through a couple other things that are in this update that I thought were really cool. Sniffer, I didn't really care about, but now that I know what it does, I think it's a little bit cooler. So it can find ancient flowers. There's 2 new ancient flowers that are super pretty. There's one that's like a pitcher plant. Oh, what's the other one? They're both vibrant colors, and they grow like every other. They grow like plants, I think. So you have to bone meal them to get them like up to size. Other things. I really like that bamboo is now a wood type. It makes it way more useful aside from
Oh
just
yeah,
sticks.
because for the longest time, the only things you could really use bamboo for is obviously sticks,
Yeah.
but also if you're very redstone savvy, as massive farms for fueling smelteries.
True, true.
But it just looks cool, and it would definitely fit in if you were trying to make a jungle village.
Yeah.
Because I mean, jungle wood is cool, but it doesn't really fit the vibe that I would have in a jungle
I feel like
city.
it's too pink red.
Yeah, it's too not vibrant, but it has. I can't really put my finger on exactly what makes it feel weird to be in a jungle.
Yeah. And it also has a chiseled variant. So it's like, I don't know how to describe it. You'll have to look at a picture of it. But it's just a different design, and you can make planks, stairs, slabs, etc. just in both versions. There are chiseled bookshelves now. Do you guys know about that?
I've seen that. You can add
Is that the ones where like they're empty bookshelves and you can put books on them? Yeah, I've seen that.
So you can put books on them in any place you want. It remembers what it is. I think you can put enchanted books on there too.
That would
so like written books, enchanted books, etc.
that's definitely useful, especially if you're like
And I
going
think
for a library.
it's got
I think
redstone
one thing,
compatibility.
one thing I noticed is a couple of YouTubers I've watched, a couple of redstone ones. They've made like secret doors and passageways with that.
It's
so
perfect
cool
for that.
because a dream of mine in real life is to have called a Murphy door, and it's basically a bookshelf door because it's just so cool in my mind. Like to be able to pull a book off a shelf or like turn something or something like that.
Yeah.
And then a bookshelf swings open, revealing a completely hidden room. It's so cool.
I've seen that, and I've always wanted that too.
Yeah.
Maybe it will happen someday.
So and the redstone emission is equal to the amount of books. So one book is one redstone, two book is two redstone power or whatever. I'm not a redstone expert, so there's different terms for it, but yeah. So it's equivalent to the amount of books on the shelf. What were the other two things? Yes, one other small thing: hanging signs.
Oh,
And you can edit them. You can edit signs now. So if you've typed it wrong, you
honestly,
don't have to break it.
if they didn't have anything else except that, I would not be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because the frustration people, especially me, have had, especially whenever I play on servers that have a plugin, which is basically like a mod but for servers.
Yeah.
That allow you to edit a sign by right-clicking it. Going from that back to vanilla Minecraft, it's so jarring because suddenly I have to break the sign and retype it, and then I mistype something and I have to break it again. And also, hanging signs, it's just... I feel like that has always been just something that was missing, was the ability to have a sign just hanging from a chain or like a rope.
Agreed.
Because...
Yeah, I mean, like, sorry for cutting you off.
It's okay.
Especially, like, if you want to make a shop or anything, like, you've seen, I can't name exactly where, but, shops and, like,
I would say
maybe,
Italy would probably be the
Italy.
first country that comes
That's
to
where
mind.
you can see, like, the most hanging signs
Like
outside of a shop.
it has this nice like wood rod that hangs out and the sign hangs down from it. It
Yeah.
looks so nice. In Minecraft, either you had to slap it on the front wall, which just doesn't look good, or you have to like build fence out and then put a block and then put a sign on both sides, and it just doesn't look good. Now it's nice and clean. It's slim, and you can put it on both sides of the sign. Did you know that? You can type on both sides.
Oh,
of the sign.
interesting. That's actually really nice.
Yeah. So I think it's the same way as editing. So you'll build it, type, and then you go to the other side and do the edit, whatever you
That's
have to
actually
click to edit
really
it.
nice.
Yeah. So like you could have two ways. Like if you have a path, you could type this way to my house, and then on the other side, this way to the farm.
Now
So-
all we need is like a horizontal pole, like a horizontal fence post, in order to be able to have the signs look even nicer. Okay.
All right. So, my favorite thing from the new update is the blocks.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. There's so many cool blocks.
Yeah, like you got the cherry tree.
Cherry tree.
You got the cherry tree, not chi. blocks. The bamboo blocks.
Obviously, the hanging signs.
The hanging signs. And the reason I like the blocks so much is because I love building just random things like big houses, roller coasters, which I've done recently.
Same.
You can just make so many cool things out of blocks. Now, I mean, honestly, not just even the new blocks, just any type of block. I mean, we've all made a diamond house before.
Yep.
Oh, that's so like early 2010s Minecraft, dude.
Gold, diamond, emerald. That's your house right there.
And back in the early days, you started with the dirt house.
When we were young and ignorant.
But honestly, so I would not see myself as a professional builder in Minecraft, but I would say I'm a really good builder. I've been told by quite a few of my friends that I am. Mm-hmm. And it's always nice whenever cool new blocks get added in updates that I know I would use. Like, again, going back to it, the hanging signs. That is, I love that concept. Mm-hmm. Because before I've had to rely on mods or other things to alter the game to allow them to exist. But now that they're in the base game and you can ride on both sides, like originally, if you wanted to have a sign say something on both sides, you had to have two signs, and it looked really awkward. Mm-hmm. It's just so nice now that they have that.
Yeah, those two features for signs open up so many different things.
So why don't we go through and say our favorite blocks? Well, I'll go first. So
overall or just
from this update?
From this update. Okay.
So I would say, going back to it again like a broken record, hanging signs, just because I see so many opportunities with them.
Well, I would say the cherry tree blocks, the wood,
It's a very beautiful wood, I will say.
It is a very beautiful color. Like, that's something I could see myself building with for quite a while.
I think I would say, I mean, it's really hard to choose. For top one is probably going to be either the bamboo wood planks or the cherry wood planks, and then in second place are signs, because like they all look cool, and I can definitely see myself using that a lot in future builds. Yeah, so that's the end of talking about the new update. So let's move into the next, much more opinionated and ominous segment. It's theory time.
Okay, so we all know the cave noises.
Yes, yeah. All too well.
Alright, so there's this theory where there's these miners who are doing what miners do, traveling by mine carts, things like that. And if you've seen the caves, there's these rails that are just disconnected and broken.
Yeah, like in the mine shafts.
Yeah, mine shafts. Yeah. So the theory is that we all Steve. He's actually in a coma, and the reason why is because these miners had a fatal accident.
Near fatal.
A near fatal accident, and the minecarts crashed, sadly. So those miners died, except for Steve. He went into a coma, and those noises you hear are actually a part of his a hallucination.
So basically, during his coma, he's being haunted by his crash.
By that memory of the crash.
Because there's a lot of, if you listen to the cave noise specifically, there's a lot of them that you hear crash or running down rails. So like, it makes sense.
That does sound like it could be possible. That is an interesting theory.
Yeah.
And adding on to the theories, it's we know the phantoms, mm-hmm. Those annoying flying creatures that attack you at night. After it's like what three
nights without sleeping.
They will come out. But they aren't there. It's because you're sleep deprived. You're hallucinating them.
I mean, yeah, that can make sense.
And the reason you're taking damage is because of lack of sleep.
Interesting. So it's like the physical quotation marks manifestation of like the effects of sleep deprivation.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, interestingly enough, one website, Healthline, says it takes to 3 or 4 nights without sleep to get hallucinations. And according to the National Institute of Health, it takes 30 to 48 hours. So that lines up really well.
So, man, they're also very ghostly and like otherworldly in appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
but they don't match like the otherworldly of, say, an ender creature.
Yeah, it looks like something that would be something you'd hallucinate about. Like it looks like if you think of this isn't exactly sleep deprivation, but sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say that while they experience it, they see like entities in like ragged robes. Like one of the things I believe people commonly see is what they would describe as like a hag,
Mm-hmm.
or like a witch type lady in like very ragged clothing. And if you look at the wings of a phantom, they're very like ragged
like
and torn up.
Torn fabric.
It looks like torn fabric. I mean that is actually a very interesting theory.
The only one thing that breaks that theory is the fact that if you kill them, you get phantom membranes.
True.
But yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting theory. I'm sure they could think of explanations for that too.
True.
But another theory, which I actually thought up of not that long ago, was so you know how if you've played the game Creepers, there are these green, almost camouflaged creatures that will sneak up to you and after a short hissing noise will explode and kill you.
They are the bane of my existence in Minecraft.
Yes, they're awful to deal with. Every single Minecraft player has encountered one of these and had at least one experience where it blows up a build or a chest full of stuff. But something that I thought of is they're suspiciously good at what they're designed to do or in what they're in the game for, which is to sneakily kill the player. And if you think, like, looking at the appearance of them, they look camouflaged, like intentionally camouflaged. They're almost silent as they walk. They sneak up behind you, and it's so unnatural how they explode, especially for, like, a living creature. Unless they were never created naturally. They were fabricated, they were synthesized for the express purpose of killing Steve. Now, I can't recall everything I had for this theory, but that would make a lot of sense in my mind. Like, because you've seen diagrams of creepers. They have, like, diagrams on the website, other things like that.
Yeah, some of the
where it's what is it called whenever it's like where it's cut in half and you can see the inside? Cross section, not cross section.
I don't remember what it's called. I know what you're talking about, like where you can see half the body's cut and you can see the internal organs and stuff.
And if you look at it, there's literally a block of TNT or dynamite in the center as the
which
heart,
is not natural, by the way.
And then it almost looks like cables going up to the brain. And also, the creeper is just a super unnatural shape.
Mm-hmm.
It does not look like something that should be in the natural world.
Agreed.
So which means
somebody built it.
Somebody who clearly doesn't like Steve built the creepers to go and attack him. I mean, why do you think once you see a creeper, like I don't know how many feet it is, but like you can be far away, like not too far away, but you guys get what I mean.
Here's something I have off the top of my head for this one. What if it was the Illagers? Because they're designed to kill any player.
That would be.
Yeah, they're not.
They're only hostile towards Steve, and obviously the Illagers and Pillagers are hostile towards Steve. So what if it was them? I mean, they have statues of creatures that it looks like they're trying to, like, maybe resurrect or worship. So what if they successfully created their own being, the Creeper, to hunt down Steve? So
Interesting.
now that's a little interesting piece of meat to chew on.
So I believe you had to close us out here in this section.
I have one more theory. I cannot credit it as my own. It is the work of team theorists on game theory. So, here it is. Imagine this. A long time ago, there was a large economy of builders, Minecraft builders. And they created these great cities and structures. They helped build the villages. They built the mine shafts. They contributed so much to the overworld. But one day, they decided they wanted to try and bring life back. They wanted to take the power of life and death in their own hands. So therefore, they tried constructing creatures like the Iron Golem and the Snow Golem, which worked. They were able to breathe life into these creatures. So now they had these beings to help protect them. But they wanted more. They wanted to explore more. They went to new worlds. They went to the Nether. And while in the Nether, they actually angered a species named the Pigmen. Now, according to the theory, they actually went and raided these Bastion remnants and possibly cities that used to exist there, but are no longer. And that is the result of Minecraft Legends. The reason why the Piglins, according to the theory, came into the overworld. They were mad at the ancient builders, so after the ancient builders came and took all their stuff, the Piglins set out a way to come to the overworld and attack them on their own ground. But that part of the theories merits another episode. So yeah, these ancient builders continue to explore, and eventually they go to the end. And well, in the end, they get trapped there because of the Ender Dragon not being able to be defeated by them. And they start to become these black, inky beings. Their eyes turn purple, and they are controlled by the Ender Dragon. According to another theory, their eyes used to be green, but are now purple due to their control by the Enderman. By the Ender Dragon, sorry. So that's kind of where the theory leaves off. If you want to find more on that theory, we'll link in the show notes to the playlist of episodes that the game theorists have out of all their Minecraft theories. Next, we're moving into our final segment, our hopes and predictions for the game.
So, obviously, speaking as a Minecraft veteran, I've played the game for well over 10 years, probably. I kind of lost count a while ago. But there's quite a few things I would love to see in the game. It would be awesome to see stuff like... I've always imagined backpacks, those kinds of things, or like some kind of satchel where you can hold additional items. I mean, they kind of have that with shulker boxes, sorry.
They're just so hard to obtain.
They're just really, like an earlier game, it's much weaker. Maybe it's just like 9 slots, but just something, and it could have like cosmetic value as well, where it would be on your person. Or I actually mentioned this earlier during the segment we were talking about the new update. If they added weapon trims where you could add designs to your own weapons, or like something I always found a little weird was that, say you enchanted your sword with fire aspect, which would allow it to ignite enemies on fire upon hitting them. It does not change the appearance at all. It's except give it a bit of a shimmer whenever,
it just gives
which
that
is normal for enchanting.
Enchanted shimmer.
I think it would be cool if it literally lit your sword on fire and you could see like a little fire animation on it.
That would be really cool. Like if they tailored in with a new cosmetic update where like they update some of the features, like enchantments actually make a difference to the appearance of your weapons.
Yeah, because it's weird how I mean, with some of the enchantments, there's not much you can really do to make it look better.
Thorns, you've got thorns sticking out of your sword.
Armor. It's put on armor.
Oh, you're right. Duh.
I mean, that could be something like make your armor spiked, that kind of thing. It would be really interesting to see more cosmetic changes.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get into what I would like to see. So the Deep Dark City, the little portal that they had, or actually not little, huge portal that they have in the middle of the city. I would love if they could add a new dimension where you can light that portal and it takes you.
What kind of dimension would it be?
I mean, like a dimension that would match the deep
So
dark city.
Say this skulk. I'm not too caught up on the theories about it, but this skulk, which is it's like a black infection that kind of resides underneath, in like the deepest layers of caves.
Yeah.
I mean, it does not appear natural at all. So that realm from that the portal goes to could be basically like this massive world infected with this skulk.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting to see.
And along with that, just a new boss.
That would be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
please.
I've always the Ender Dragon's cool, and
The Wither,
Wither.
and you kind of, to a lesser extent, the Warden in the
Yeah.
Deep Dark and like where the skulk is.
but like just a new, fresh, and very hard boss.
Yeah, because right now we only have one boss. You have to seek him out, which most bosses you kind of do, and the other one you have to actively build. Like if there was another, like an overworld boss that you don't have to build,
Yeah,
or
'cause-
even like each dimension got its own. Because the Warden's not much of a boss; it's just a hindrance, and it gives you nothing except like a skulk block or something.
I mean, there was that theory going around for a while that they were going to add like a red dragon to the Nether, and it would be like a
Yeah.
fire dragon. That would be interesting to see. Like, have dragons have more of a presence.
And with the new update to the Nether within the last couple years, it's much more open, so a dragon would work in the Nether, especially if it has a designated area.
Yeah, because the Nether is way bigger now.
Yeah, it's a lot more open.
Yeah, as
and-
of 1.16, where they overhauled it.
yeah, which was a great update, I might add.
I like that.
Well, Keaton, do you have one more thing that you'd like to see in the game in the future to close us out?
Well, since Chen already touched on bosses, I would say I wish there was more story-driven parts to the game. Like, there's some different stuff, and I don't know if it's Mojang not wanting us to know, or if they just haven't really decided yet, because obviously we've talked about some theories that pertain to the story of the game, but those are just theories. I would like if we saw some more story elements, more... I don't want it to be a different game, but if there were more, like, some sort of mission villager who sent you
That
on
would be
quests.
So like that reminds me of a mod. Wait, no, that's for a different game. But there's a mod, I believe, that adds like a bounty board.
Yeah.
Which adds like quests and whatnot that you can take, and it's just short stuff like kill a certain amount of an enemy or obtain certain items. Like just because I always like I like sandbox games, but I like having a goal as well. I'm very goal driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only real goal in Minecraft is to defeat the Ender Dragon, and you can kind of do that however you want.
I mean,
And-
you can do that really fast as
Yeah.
well. You don't really even like you need to visit the Nether, the basically like the underworld dimension, but that can be done super fast.
And they've been adding small things for the story side of stuff, like the pots. Those are ancient shards of like you have different carvings and whatnot. So there's tiny elements that hint to a earlier people, which might relate to the ancient builders story. But yeah, if they added some more, like if I were to get my like choice update, it would be like the missions and story update or something, where we get like some added missions and stuff that maybe reveal a little bit about the story, and then just some more slight story elements. Nothing game changing, but just small
It's
things.
like, and that would make the villages. I want to see another update that makes villages more lively.
yes,
Like,
because they made variation to it, but not. It's still pretty kind of. There's
Yeah.
not a ton going on here.
I mean, ever since 1.14, where they overhauled the villages have been changed forever. They're no longer super bland and boring.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot more life with the different professions villagers can have, different kinds of houses, all that stuff, and even different outfits for the villagers. But something like that would add, like, a quest board or even a villager that gives you quests, that would be really interesting.
That would be really cool. And like whether it's collecting things or killing a certain amount of mobs, that would make for an interesting feature. It's not like changing the, and you don't have to do it if you don't want. It's up to the player, but it's there if you want it. And players like me, I know, would really appreciate that. Because then, like, if you're getting tired of building your huge cities, especially if you're a player who mainly plays by themselves, it adds something to do. Like, because Minecraft's more fun with people, but when you're by yourselves, it just kind of starts to kind of lose its you start to lose your enthusiasm for the game when you have nobody to interact with. But if something like that was added, I think that would make a slight difference.
Yeah, there's one more thing I would like to see.
Okay.
After defeating the Ender Dragon, you have those two people talking.
Yeah.
Oh, like I've not stopped and read that for the longest time.
Yeah, I used to skip over it. I've read a little bit of it.
And you have to
But-
properly beat the game to see that. You
Yeah.
can't you can't like go into creative mode. You have to beat it in survival mode, no cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To read the whole thing.
But I would love if they could do something with that. Like, who are these two
Yeah,
people that are talking at the end?
I don't think that was ever resolved, like who these people are.
Like
And that would be an interesting thing to like maybe not flat out tell us, but like hint towards some stuff in the game.
like
That would be
were
super
they-
interesting.
Are those two one of the old builders?
Yeah, what if they were like the last two builders?
That would be really interesting. I didn't even think about that before.
Yeah, let's not get back into the theory section.
We
That'll
already
be
did our
for another
theories.
time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Yeah.
do you guys have any other closing things that we want to say before we wrap up this segment?
don't think so.
Well, other than that, Minecraft is a really fun game, and that
Yes.
people should play it.
Agreed. Well, that has been hopes and predictions for the game.
If you enjoyed this one, go check out our previous episode, which is about stories, and that one is a whole lot of fun too.
That is a really good episode.
I personally really like that one.
Yeah.
Our Instagram is linked in our Spotify if you want to check that out. We will be posting updates about newer episodes, or even about our daily lives.
Or sometimes we'll even put up some polls to hear back from you, our followers, and just other fun stuff we may want to put up there.
Also, for anything referenced in the episode, like the playlist for the Game Theorist videos, you can find those in the show notes underneath this episode.
Well, that has been episode 2 of the Creative Podcast. Make sure you stick around for a little longer because you'll be hearing me, Ben Fisher, play the song from Minecraft, Wet Hands, on piano. And I hope you'll enjoy that. And remember, stay creative.